Today we're going to be starting Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, which I'm very excited to jump back into. Some of y'all may know that when I played these three games for the first time last year, this was my favorite of the three by a decent margin, actually. So I'm curious to see how I feel about it, if my mind has changed at all about it, or not. But yeah, these opening cinematics are so cool. Obviously, it looks a little scuffed because it's like sort of 3D animated-ish, but I dig it. We'll just let that finish playing up and we'll jump right in. Hype. So first and foremost, I love the way that, let me just make sure that why is rewind on? Get that shit out of here. Is this all, yeah, this is all saved from when I jumped in previously. Your opinions evolved a bit, and this is your favorite of the DS Vanias, you think? Based. Yeah, this is like, first and foremost, I love the way that it kind of plays into sort of a more lighthearted tone, I think actually works pretty well. And it like pairs well with the more generic kind of portrait style. I don't mind it as much here as I did in what the hell? What the hell is that default shape it gave me? It was like an ear or something? 1944, the world is in chaos. The Second World War has claimed millions of lives, leveled cities, destroyed nations. The souls of the war's dead blanket... The souls of the war's dead blanket the planet, lost, hurt, and angry. Lost, hurt, and angry. Their anguish summons an accursed castle of legend. It has appeared many times throughout history, bringing with it evil and darkness. The castle of Dracula, the Lord of Darkness. It arrives in mankind's darkest hour to push us over the brink into ruin. It picks one of the shapes you can copy randomly. It's a fun bit of personalization, I'd say. God, the sprite work is so good, though. That whip! There's no mistaking it, you're Jonathan Morris. And at the time I played this, I didn't know that Castlevania Bloodlines was a thing. So, Bloodlines, I believe, was on the Genesis originally. And in that game you play as John Morris, who is Jonathan's dad, and Eric Lecard, who I guess, you know, we'll keep this spoiler-free for now, but Eric is a prominent character in this game. Yeah, no, the sprite work is so damn good. And I love, like, when... I'll show it off in a second, but when you press up and Jonathan does, like, the little hair flip and stuff, it's so cool. Vincent Doran. By order of the church, I've been awaiting you. To think that the master of the legendary vampire killer would come here, a blessing indeed. Too bad he can't actually use it. Oh, burn. Charlotte, can't you even pretend to play along for once? I like these two. I really like these two a lot. Well, that's the truth, isn't it? You can't lie to a priest. Well, what? Are you saying that whip is a fake, then? She's right, I can't use the vampire killer. This whip wasn't originally within my family. You've heard of the Belmont family, haven't you? Why, of course I have. They've used that whip for generations to destroy Dracula. And that family is related to the Morris family by blood. You know, a little straightforward dialogue still here, but you know. Yeah, for sure, like yeah, there are definitely some plot beats that I like as well. The way it's told is still like a little, you know, like the dialogue isn't like the greatest ever, but I think it fits because I feel like this game is kind of going for something a little lighter than the Sorrow games, and so that's why I think Dawn of Sorrow's bad story like really sticks out. Because they're like they're taking it super seriously, and we can get into it later, but like the characters take things seriously here too, but to like a lesser extent. It's a little more playful, I think. No problemo. I've won every battle till now without the whip, not one loss. Not only that, I'm here too. Yes, I was wondering about that, and you are... Well, excuse me, if you're from the church, then remember this. I'm Charlotte Allen. Charlotte, I've heard that name before. Charlotte. Oh, you must be the great magician everyone's been talking about. Great, you say? Give Dawn's story a lot of crap at the bad end is legit. Yeah, no, I played through Julius mode yesterday, last night, and that was pretty fun. Like getting to see Evil Soma and stuff like that. To think that she was a mere child. Oh well, I mean, such a lovely young lady. This is cute. This is just like cute dialogue. I like it. So anyway, Vincent, you had some business with me? Oh, yes, I do. In order to assist you in your quest, I brought potions with me, but well, it's a matter of economics. He wants to pay you too. Oh, well, if you insist, this fucking idiot. Not idiot, but this asshole. To enjoy how Jonathan says nothing. Yeah, he doesn't even, like, comment on it at all. You can take care of that, but more importantly, the castle. Is that really Dracula's castle? No one's seen Dracula thus far. However, the church insists that it is indeed Dracula's castle. No doubt about it, the castle is pulsing with dark magic power. Can't imagine it's anything but the castle of Lord Dracula that I studied in the books. Sounds like fun. Come on, better get going then, Charlotte. Charlotte? Right with you. But be careful. I'll search for a safe place, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking lit! This game rules. And it's also nice to play as a character with a whip. Obviously, you can equip different weapons, but... you know. Oh yeah, I can't even switch right now, but... yeah, I don't think it lets me switch until, yeah, right here. Exactly. That's not gonna get old. That's right. The two character dynamic is so sick, though. A little finger wag. It's like so much personality here. Obviously, her physical attack is like terrible right now, but I love this game's soundtrack, especially this track. And I mean, I like pretty much everything about this game. The main criticism I would have is like level design stuff, but that we can get into that in a little bit, like a little bit later, and maybe like the story as well to some extent, but. So technically this is better, but I just like using a whip in these games. It's very fun. I've been chipping away at another playthrough of Circle of the Moon. So that's been pretty fun to do. Patched, of course, with the auto dash and the card mod, or card mode patch and stuff. Get a lot of mileage out of the extra modes. Yeah, for sure, for sure. For sure. And I don't have a ton of experience with Richter mode or Sisters mode either. But I'm very curious to check those out. Before we do that... oh, that's blocked off, that's right. I did play like the opening 5 or 10 minutes of this game when I got the collection at first. I like how you can still move during that, technically. This thing like half devoured and shit. Pretty grisly. Nice. So we got our first little special ability there. That we need the double jump for, that's right. So I'm gonna swap the map to the bottom. Yeah, the worms on the ground, yeah, it's a nice attention to detail, but it's pretty nasty. See some puzzle solving. Not anything crazy, but you know. I do like how when you don't have any weapon equipped, she just does the book, like thrusts the book in front of her. It's fun. Oh right, you can like, yeah, you can charge it. Yeah, the detail for real is like, it's so good. Like these death animations too. Like for a DS game especially, it's like a lot of little touches that are much appreciated. Display the names of the enemies, yeah. Headguard. I do find managing equipment in this game to be a little tedious, from what I recall. Primarily because, like, when you go to sell stuff, I don't think it shows you, like, what you have equipped specifically, but... Yeah, in the European axe armors, yeah, the consistency, it's cool. Something's here. It's not human. This track is so damn good, too. No, wait, I sense no evil from him. Ah, you can sense my presence. It's a space cowboy. Who are you? A ghost, as you can see. Ghosts have no need for names. Incredible, he managed to stay sane despite the castle's evil influence. How is it possible? I don't know about you, but he sure seems shady to me. If you played Bloodlines when it came out, this must have been like... This must be pretty cool. I think it's cool, even without having an attachment to Bloodlines. Not that, I mean, that's a classic Vania, so the story's pretty minimal there, but... Still, like, really cool reference, and like, very, like, just a kind of obscure title to build off of for this. I don't know about you, but he sure seems shady to me. I already said that, I guess, but... Think what you will. It's your choice. However, can you truly destroy me with a whip you can't even use? Oh, burn again. Only one way to find out. Chotto mate. How do you know he can't use the vampire killer? Huh? I find it very odd to find a ghost not controlled by the power of Dracula's castle. Smart girl, compared to this foolish boy. Just before I died, I cast a magic seal on myself, binding my soul to this place. I'm free from the castle's control, but I'm trapped here. But a paranormal entity like you can easily be affected by magic. Casting a barrier that repels the castle's power is impossible, even for me. Just who are you? My name is meaningless, but I suppose you need to call me something. Very well, call me Wind. They should have just kept it as Kaze, but, you know. Charlotte. Is it like the way that she exposits, or like kinda... It's the exposition thing, isn't it? Like how she has to like explain everything out loud. Mr. Wind. Just Wind is fine. Alright, Wind, what are you doing here? Didn't you hear him? He's trapped here, remember? But if he truly has this much power, he could use other methods besides just binding his spirit here. You really are a bright little girl, aren't you? Stop treating me like a child. My name is Charlotte. How can we show the character? Oh yeah, and like the one-upmanship from like, yeah, oh, she's so intelligent, she's got, yeah, I can understand that. So like other characters constantly tell them that they're so, yeah. Yeah, I kind of chalk that up in this particular case to the dialogue just not being the greatest. And plus it's like, ultimately I think these games were marketed more towards kids, you know, to be fair. Who you calling a kid? I will not rest until the lord of this castle is vanquished. I thought I would lend assistance to those who might defeat him. But if you can't move from here, how could you possibly help us? In spirit form, I'm able to... Yeah, we know. Side quests. We get it. Been able to do fine without any of his help so far, so why don't you just... Even if you can use that whip, you'd still be in great danger. Don't you remember your father? Enough about my father. A dead man who leaves me to fulfill his destiny. Forget him. Miss CeeLo Green pops in. Sorry, but still. Shut that a little bit over this, but it still makes you roll the... Yeah. Yeah, it's just a writing, like, dialogue thing. I get that. Guess I got a bit carried away. You might be right, Charlotte. The expositing is a thing too, but it annoys you less. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's probably a better way to show that a character's smart than the other characters being like, you're so smart. You know, show, don't tell. Even though, like, the smart character would be telling, but it's not like they're saying, I'm so smart. They're, like, just spitting facts, you know? Yeah, Charlotte's really fun to play as. I think being able to play as a mage in, like, the main game is really cool. And even then, like, having just played through Julius mode, I really did not like playing as Yoko very much.
How are things?
How are things? The good old dub here. Care to try? Alright, yeah, so we gotta buy a, what is it, a potion and something. Potion and map, I think, right?
Thank you.
Yuko is serviceable. Yeah, like, gameplay-wise, it's nice that she heals on physical hits, but her physical damage is so low. It's like you barely heal anything. You're better off just trying to not get hit with Julius or Alucard. Alucard feels a little overtuned. Yeah, but he's fun because it's Alucard, so I don't really mind it too much. It's basically just like Symphony of the Night at home. Which is nice too, because like there is no official way to play Symphony of the Night on PC.
How are things? Well done.
Lizard Tail, oh that's right, the slide. Dracula isn't this castle's lord. What do you mean? Isn't this place named Dracula's Castle? Castle Lord is a vampire by the name of Bronner. As one would expect, his identity has been kept secret for years after all. He infuses magic into paintings to increase his power. You'll undoubtedly come across his paintings in the castle, search for those paintings, that's kind of the crux of the gameplay and the structure and all that. He's using the paintings to make the castle's power his, isn't he? Still, we won't have to face Dracula, that's good news, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Symphony of the Night, Alucard is cracked, yeah, literally. Be careful. His power grows stronger by the minute. No problemo. The missions. Yeah, these... I'm just not gonna sell anything. Like, the way that they cycle... The fact that you can't cycle them without completing some means that if you could get soft-locked, potentially. But... like, that's my issue with them. Is that, like, when I was trying to unlock the boss rush so I could get 1000% map completion, I was nervous that I was gonna, like, not be able to do it or whatever. But also... I made a meme forever ago about this. And the thing is that, like, some of these, if you sell certain items that you find throughout the map, you show no desperation, come back when you have no money. Oh, is there... like, I don't remember the details, like, specifics about some of these, but... some of them are, like, very specific, like, require very specific, requirements. No... yeah, I'm pretty sure... there's a way to swap, right? Okay, for some reason it's X here, which is weird. Tome of Arms, casual clothes. And try the short sword and see. It just doesn't feel right, though. I know there's a limited number of whips that you can actually use, but... I like the reach. That's a more tame mission. Yeah, I guess I'll need to like refresh my memory on some of the missions. I just know like one of them was what's it called? It's like, hey, bring me these armor pieces that are only a one-time pickup. And I had sold them or something, and so it was like, well, I guess I can't do that one. It's one of those paintings. Most RPGs give you too much money and make everything so cheap. Yeah, I agree. I agree as far as like preferring an actual economy. Ideally one that is multi-layered, that isn't just like a single currency. And that the currency can function, like... That the currency can keep, it can function in multiple ways, not just like buying equipment. I think about like an SMT, using it to heal, but then like an SMT5 for instance, using it to heal, but then you also have like glory as a secondary currency that you're spending on miracles, which is another way to make your character more powerful. It's like a more dynamic in that way. For single currency for simplicity. I mean, that can work too. That can work too. From what I can tell, based on the theory of curse amplification, this picture is a multi-layered pseudo-space barrier. What's that mean in human language? A series of walls that surround the magic controlling Dracula's castle. The painting itself is just the outermost wall. As soon as you break it, it'll regenerate. It's unbreakable. No problemo. I like how he keeps saying that. It's fun. It's lit. Yeah, so warp point specifically for City of Haze. You ever play Super Mario 64? That's what my mind first jumped to, too, when I played this initially. Very Mario 64-esque. Oh god. I don't know why I thought that would be better. Nice. I thought MP was supposed to drain when you had your partner out, but maybe I'm thinking of something else or something. Yeah, it's basically his catchphrase, yeah. And it is kind of dorky. But I do like these two, though. There's definitely problems with dialogue. Look at this. The fact that there's, like... It actually scatters objects around like you're actually interacting with the shelves. It's sick. I definitely tried to double jump there, even though I don't have that. Oh, that's right. Can't you get a... Something drops from one of these that you need for a quest, but I don't know if that only spawns in when that quest is active. So, we'll see. Oh, it's when they get hit, you lose MP. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got so used to the double jump in Dawn. They're curious. I'm not gonna always want to have both characters out, but I think for the time being it's fine. Like later on, when things get more dangerous and I need MP, that's gonna be definitely a factor. Save spot. I'm just vibing. Nice. Intelligence. I mean, I feel like for now the defense is probably better. Maybe. Like Corsage. Let's see if I can lit. I'll deal with breakable walls later, I think. I say as I inspect another potentially breakable wall. God, these enemies are like so bizarre. In kind of a cool way though. Paella? Okay. Ah, damn. Nice level up. Nice weapon over there. Let's see if I got like a longsword or something, which that looks to be, or a claymore or something, I'll switch to it. Oop. Backdash to cancel charging. Oh, that's kind of cool. Keep that in mind. I seem to remember the backdash being maybe more viable here. Well, it's not that it's not viable in Dawn of Sorrow, but it's more so like... I guess it's really an Order of Ecclesia that the backdash is like mandatory to get used to using. Because enemies hit so hard from what I recall. Claymore. There we go. Let me see that. Lit. Slice up some bread. What we got here, though? Basic combination where both partners take turns attacking, yeah. That's when both of them are out. Or no, up plus Y instead of up plus X, that's what it is, never mind. Maybe they do both need to be out, but yeah. I feel like Dawn is just so much more offensively oriented. Yeah, I would say so. You can be pretty aggressive. Like Ecclesia, you definitely have to play more defensively. And I think this game is kind of a mix between the two. Or balance between the two, I should say. Although you can play pretty aggressively here too because of like the partner attacks and stuff. And get pretty crazy. There's some areas that can get pretty tough, but they're not quite yet. Another whip. Ooh. The Claymore's fun, but I'm kind of like, I like the whips though. Ow. It feels like just a tight jump that I should be able to make. There we go. Huge skill element. A bit more back and forth. Yeah, right. Like there's a maybe a higher skill ceiling potentially. I do think the skill ceiling for Dawn is still pretty high. But I feel like you're saying the playstyle doesn't really change much between like low level and high level play. It's just a matter of like execution, basically, like how well you pull off that style. These guys still look kinda chunky in a way that I don't like very much, but it's not terrible. Also, I'm trying to remember. I just straight up don't remember where you're supposed to go, and I want to go the opposite way. I feel like this is the correct way. Like, I seem to remember... I seem to remember it being more or less a straight path, like, to the right. I also gotta be kind of careful. Maybe I should stick with Jonathan because he is bulkier, like higher defense. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I went this way then. What's up, John? Have all the DS games on original hardware. Usually go down under on this stage. Oh, right, we have the minecart kinds of segments, that's right. Okay, yeah. So we'll reset this real quick. Oh, I guess... Wait a second. Yeah, there we go. What? Hold up. There we go. Nice. But on 3DS, well, you still own the DS cartridges at least. Co-partner use... Oh, that's right. This game is so sick, dude. You do like the puzzles they used? Yeah, the dual... They make good use of it out of the two-character system with some of these puzzles and stuff. I know there's a path underneath, but I have a compulsion to, like, fill out the maps in these games. Also, Gale Force. Seems pretty lit. Oh, that's like that seems like a breakable... That's gotta be a breakable thing unless there's another entrance. No. Do I have anything that can, like, hit above me? Yes, I do. Although maybe... Maybe that's only, breakable from the top? That might be it. Only part you struggle with is a sanctuary spell you have to use. Oh, yeah, I do remember that being a little, tricky. Also, I'm gonna re-equip the... Oh, the mace is really strong, though. It's slow. I'm gonna get used to juggling the different abilities and stuff like that. Like commanding Charlotte to use magic at certain times, but that's something I'll just get better at. And is most relevant during boss fights anyway. And there's save spot. Sometimes you get lucky on the first try. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays out. Because that is one of those things you have to, like, charge up and, like, maybe aim it. I don't remember exactly, but during such a I do remember that fight being pretty frantic though, so Can you not? There we go. I don't know if I like the mace. I mean, the damage output is nice, but the The whip has better range and it's a lot faster too. And plus I'm coming off of Julius mode, so I'm like a little more used to using the whip precisely. Wait a second. Oh, that charges up really fast. I think I'd rather her use Raging Fire, maybe? Charge to make sure they're in range. Yeah, okay, that sounds about right. That explains why it was so tricky. No, I agree. I do think that the whip feels better here overall. Oops. Oh, I thought he died. That's why I tried that. Oops. But yeah, some of those boss fights in Julius mode were pretty tough. And what's funny is that the final boss wasn't one of those. Like, the pattern on when you're fighting Soma is so predictable and avoidable that it wasn't as bad. Not that I'm complaining, because like Abaddon or whatever he's called was a pain in the ass. And I actually ended up fighting Agni earlier than I probably should have as well, which was pretty stressful. But it was cool. It definitely like increased my skill at playing Dawn of Sorrow overall. To where, obviously, because you can't use potions, it required me to like kind of master some of the boss patterns more. Because it's so easy to cheese with potions in these games. At least these first two, maybe. I don't remember exactly how Order handles things. Ah, so here's the boss fight. That was Dullahan, right? Oh shit. Oh, the head guards, okay. Let's try that out. I'm gonna frickin' die here, though. Rip. I think the play that I think I don't want Charlotte out, actually. Probably. Oh, it was a whip. That's what it was. That's pretty cool. Like, I don't think I want both characters out. This boss will all do the first time. I remember really liking the boss fights in this game. Oh shit. Oh, there's a little not safe for works spilling all over the place. Shit, 69 damage? Are you serious? That's crazy. Oh shit, okay, I hadn't seen that attack. Played Ecclesia for a bit, grinded more. Maybe I should go, like, fill out the rest of the map first? Since we can always warp back here, you know? Because that'll give me a chance to maybe get better equipment and level up a little more, too. That ceiling room seemed to be blocked off. Like, from here? So I guess I have to go all the way back? Try to keep the head away from the body. Oh, that's a good idea. That makes sense. I didn't consider, like, trying to knock it away, you know? It was instantly like, oh, that doesn't do damage? The fucking monkey brain, like, oh, that doesn't do damage? I guess it doesn't do anything then, but no. There's actually some utility there, which is neat. Yeah, we'll just blitz through here real quick. So get me some more EXP, like killing enemies and stuff. And then we can try to explore that section of the map that I haven't uncovered yet, if I can. Oh wait, that might be Biker's Jacket? Oh man, those stat buffs. Look at that. Also, this is better for her. Sandals. Tome of Arms is the best one. Okay. There's a warp room in the middle. Okay, cool. So we can kind of like make our way over there, and then warp back to the boss when I gain another level or two. Or well, I just got better equipment, so maybe that would be enough if I just play well. Oh, that's Fornius. Interesting. It's something that I didn't fully consider was the similarity between Castlevania and Megami Tensei, in that like they both pull creatures from like myth. They both pull like mythological creatures and stuff. Obviously, Castlevania tends to lean more towards like modern myths, like Frankenstein and that kind of stuff. More Halloween oriented. But still, like we've seen like Fornius is one that's shared across both. Different interpretations, clearly. And there was, what, Decorabia as well? Stuff like that. Fanboyed over the possibility of a crossover. Yeah, it's something that I was thinking about recently in coming back to these, because I was, like, Dualahan's another one that's in both series. Just heard about channels a few minutes ago. Nice, well, welcome, John Evan. Castlevania livestream drew you in. Yeah, it seems like my streams occasionally hit the algorithm in an interesting way, which I never expected to be the case. Because usually, or historically, YouTube live streams don't do that, in my experience. It's only been the past couple of series I've done that have drawn people in. Yeah, they're both, yeah, for sure. Like Megaten... Megaten's one of my favorite video game franchises at this point. Just from, like... I've played a good chunk of the games, at least the localized ones. But even based on that, I'm like, man... shit's sick. And so is Castlevania as well. Like, Castlevania is probably... I'd have to think about it. It's definitely in my top 10, though. Like, video game franchises at this point, it's hard for it not to be. But it's another case where it's like not every single title resonates, but it's also like, what franchise can I really say that for? Truly. that would kind of be... That's like a little strange to me, I guess. Like, it's okay, it's fine to like, it's fine to enjoy everything or whatever. Like every entry in a particular series or franchise, that's fine. But it's like when there's like no entries that you don't have problems with, that's when I'm like, I feel like I'm too critical to like not, like to feel that way, basically. And another old fan who started with Symphony of the Night. Nice. John started with beating the first boss of Circle of the Moon got you hooked. I've been replaying Circle of the Moon, and that first boss is really fun when you're under-leveled, and you're able to dodge, like, it's a very satisfying fight, I would say. Big Kingdom Hearts stan. But there's some shit you can't defend in that franchise. It's fair enough, yeah. Yeah, it's like for me, a lot of the series I grew up with have kind of lost me at various points. And I'm still a fan. I'm a fair weather fan where it's like, okay, if a title releases that resonates, then like, sure, I'm on board. I'm not gonna like stick my nose up at it. But like Sonic is the major one where I grew up with that, with like the adventure games in particular. And I haven't given a shit about a Sonic game in a long time, like a new release. Oh, Warp Room, right. But that's one of those where it's like, I mean, Shadow Generations looks pretty damn good. And they might actually get me to like pick that up day one, straight up. And like Pokemon is obviously one that I grew up with, but that's also something where I'm like, I just don't think the new titles are that great. So cool that people can come back. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with Kingdom Hearts, so I guess I can't really speak on it too much, but it's something, since those games did come to Steam, I've been somewhat interested in checking out at least the package that has 1.5 and 2.5 in it. Because I know the bulk of the fandom, of that franchise's fandom, comes from KH 1 and 2. And you also get, like, what is it, Birth by Sleep in that one as well, which people also like, I think. Got the clue when you got the dash boots, yeah. That's, like, one thing I can't abide by in Circle of the Moon. And so that's why I do, like, play with the dash patch on and stuff. Oh yeah, Charlotte, draw aggro, yeah. Wait a second, this might be... This might be actually the strat, like, straight up. Oh shit. Lit! Let's go, boy! Yeah, getting Charlotte on the other side of him was... I, like, accidentally did that, but that was definitely the play. Shall you clip that? You can if you want to. You're definitely welcome to. I'm not good about clipping my own stuff. I'm just, like, really, like, kind of bad about that. I think that's part of the reason why my channel hasn't, like, fully taken off. Because I just don't really, like, advertise it in those ways as much. His control of the castle's power has decreased a bit. Ah, the sisters, that's right. I knew I smelled something. Seems like some maggots got inside. Ew. A vampire? My, such attitude. You dare disrespect somebody of my caliber? I am a lady, Lady Loretta. You probably think your little victory has weakened us a bit. However, I do have some tragic news for you. This wasn't the only one of Father's paintings. I know that. I can obviously tell by sensing the movement of the magical energy. What an amusing sight, a child who fancies herself an adult. It's very Saturday morning cartoon, which I don't mind. Enjoy clipping the most random crap. GG. Yeah, that was a really solid run, and that tip about knocking the head away was really helpful too, for sure. How the villains show up to taunt you, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, because in a lot of the other Castlevanias, it's like, yeah, you know you're fighting Dracula, and like the story isn't really at the forefront, but it's like, and you fight kind of their Dracula's lieutenants, as it were, as you make your way with the other bosses, but there's not really much of a connection to Dracula in those cases, you know? Unfortunately, I have strict orders from Father not to fight you. Now, if you'll excuse me. Yeah, Shaft and Symphony of the Night. Yeah, especially if you don't have the context from Rondo. I actually... See, I wish that they hadn't remade Rondo of Blood for the PSP, I wish they had waited, because a remake of Rondo with, I know that Castlevania Requiem's on PS4/PS5, and it's like Rondo plus Symphony of the Night, but imagine if they remade both of them to be a little more continuous, you know, or something. It's not like Symphony needs a remake or anything, but it's more so just like, I think that what I mean to say is that the story context from Rondo I think is really cool, at least on paper. Because it's a little bit more clear, like, oh, like Shaft and his cronies are kidnapping, like, children, or like kidnapping women, or like whatever it is, to sacrifice them to resurrect Dracula. Like, that's a really dark and cool premise. And then you play Symphony of the Night and you get like none of that. It doesn't help that Rondo was Japanese exclusive for, at least initially, right? Because Dracula X was the version we got over here, I think. I'm still like, I'm a little vague on some Classicvania history and lore and stuff like that, so feel free to, you know, chime in if I get anything wrong. But well, I messed around with Dracula X Chronicles, like the remake, a little bit, and I was like, this is kind of cool. It's really crusty because it's a PSP game with like 3D models and shit, but it's like kind of cool. I like the character designs in that actually quite a bit too. Like the redesigns of Richter and Maria and stuff. Doesn't deserve the name Shaft. Keep pushing, yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky balance, because like you don't want to, obviously don't want to get obnoxious with like promoting yourself or whatever, but at the same time I feel like I have a tendency to like avoid that for like fear of pushback. But I think it's just one of those things that you just kind of have to get used to if you're gonna try to make something like this into part of your income or whatever. I don't think I can make that jump, can I? Oh, I can, nice. Moonwalkers. Surprised there wasn't a 3D Castlevania. Well, they did do Lords of Shadow. Those games were very mixed reception-wise, though, but they do exist, and they are the most recent. I think they're the most recent, like, actual Castlevania games, like, branding-wise. All your friends outgrew you back when you streamed. Yeah, it's a tricky thing, especially with streaming, and especially on Twitch, I feel like. Because discovery on Twitch is just terrible. Because I used to stream on Twitch. I did that. I stopped doing it in 2021 when I started streaming on here, but enhances the ability to dash backwards. That's pretty sick. What's the point of these? Maybe it's a quest item, but they're like the same stat-wise. Thick glasses. I don't know what mind does versus intelligence, but it's trading off 2 points in a stat for 3, so maybe it's like magic defense is mind. I could see that. And that's right, there were the N64 games and the PS2 games as well, that's true. Those need to be... I guess that's the last collection they really need to do, right? And then, what, include a Rebirth with that? Castlevania Rebirth or whatever? Because that's the last Classicvania, I think, to be re-released. And they keep doing these bundles or whatever. I just find it weird that the Rondo Symphony of the Night collection isn't on PC. That's like the weirdest thing for me. Because I'd buy that in a heartbeat. Okay, yeah, that's like double jump. I also can't get up there, okay. Oh, that's broken, duh. Yeah, like there were some 3D entries, but they were... I don't think they really took off in any significant way. Like popularity or sales-wise. People do like those games, though. Some of them, at least. Especially the PS2 ones, I know there's a pretty rabid fan base for those games. Oh, that's why. That's why we couldn't exit that way. That makes sense. Andros? I know it's spelled differently, but I just had like a Star Fox. We'll get you, Andros, or like whatever they say in those games. Oh, what was I saying before? Oh yeah, about like series that kind of like lost me or whatever. Which has been pretty weird. Yeah, it's just, I mean, YouTube is pretty saturated too, but I feel like it's easier to get your stuff out there on YouTube than Twitch. I mean, you could always dual stream, assuming you have like the hardware capabilities for that. And I had thought about that too, but I'm also like, I don't watch enough streams to like understand Twitch culture. I don't, like, it's not something that it's not a type of content that I really partake in, by and large. So, I always kind of felt a little bit out of place at, like, when I was streaming on Twitch, because I just, like, I don't get the references, I'm just, like, a complete boomer, basically, when it comes to Twitch. Prefer editing to streaming. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. As a fellow out-of-touch millennial, yeah, basically. More or less. A very young millennial, but I think I do hit that cutoff, technically. But to me, it's like, it's obviously like an ambiguous thing. There's not like a set year, per se, that you could say, because it's more so like nurture, in that case, how you were raised. And I was the oldest, so it's like, well, I guess that has less to do with it, but it's more like I was the oldest. I remember dial-up internet, briefly at least, among, you know, pre-smartphone era for sure, and all of that. Born in 95, I'm 96, so like, more or less the same year. So, grabbing Metaphor, hell yeah, dude. Metaphor is, Oh, now I have to go and get the meat. That's right. Yeah, Metaphor's a day one for me, for sure. I'm very curious. I mean, I know it's going to be kind of an amalgamation of Persona and mainline SMT and stuff, but it's been a long time since you watched anyone on Twitch. Yeah, the meta on Twitch has really changed in a way that I'm like, I don't really necessarily want to associate with that platform anyway. It's like whatever, but you know what I mean, I think. Born in 1990. See, we're all 90s kids here, just to varying degrees. I don't think I want to buy anything just yet. Because, like, the thing with these games is I could have easily grown up with them. I was too busy playing, like, Pokemon and shit, I think. Like, that's most of my DS time was spent playing, Gen 4 and Gen 5 Pokemon, for sure. I played some other stuff, too, but I don't think Castlevania was really on my radar in the same way.
You're back.
Okay, yeah, so... we'll do this real quick. I don't want to get... excuse me, I'm like hiccuping and shit. I don't want to get too bogged down in the side quests, but... if I can do some of them easily, then I might as well knock them out, I figure. About the DS Castlevania games in 2015. Nice, yeah, there were some games like that I picked up later on. Like Mario Sunshine was one where I had a GameCube, but I didn't grab it until I was in high school. Because that was when GameStop was selling retro games like they did that for a bit, and then I think they stopped, and now they're gonna start doing it again. It's like, it's like make up your minds already. But yeah, there was a time where like they started doing like retro systems, quote unquote, when I was in high school. So I think I picked up a few titles. That's when I got BN5 Double Team as well, even though I had played the GBA version prior. But I think I know the meat is in like the next room, like the next big room over there. At least I'm pretty sure it is. No, wait. No, it's up here on the left, isn't it? I screwed up, I passed it. I think. Because I think it was in a dead-end room. But yeah, and in picking up games like that at a cheap price too is definitely a big plus, because the used game market when it comes to older systems is pretty heinous. That's why I stick to good old emulation 9 times out of 10. Actually, 10 times out of 10. I actually sold, I think I sold like all of my physical games. Because like no one's gonna come in and take away my fucking ROMs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have enough, I have access. Like, I can play Twilight Princess. I don't need the physical cartridge for it, you know? And in fact, it's better that way, because you can play it, like, upscaled and, you know, potentially high frame rate and stuff. But don't you have to punch it specifically? Yeah. But yeah, it's, like, more important to me to have access to play these games as opposed to Twilight Princess is fucking goated. Love it. I see. I guess I see you're a man of culture as well. If you want to, you know, pull the Reddit meme, but yeah, it's that game's awesome, dude. Like, that's one of those where like people give it so much shit for its intro, but I'm like, can y'all just stop being fucking TikTok addicted for 5 seconds? And appreciate some like world building and character building and shit. And plus, I don't think that intro is as long as people say it is. Your favorite 3D Zelda? I agree. It's my favorite as well. Though the N64 games aren't too far behind. Alright, I'm not gonna bother selling anything, I don't think, right now. And I keep getting fucking scatterbrained. I need to like focus up a little bit, but what's it? Midna's better support? Yes, dude. Midna's the best companion in Zelda, like period. I don't think it's particularly close. And Fi, I kinda like Fi, but she is annoying. It's better in the HD remaster, which I played most recently. Easily beats Wind Waker. Yeah, I've said this a lot. I think Wind Waker fans have overcorrected. I think they've majorly overcorrected. I get it. Making fun of it for its visuals was not okay, because that's like the best, what's it called? The visuals for Wind Waker are like the best part about it. So the fact that people, like, I know it was during a time where it was like, oh, wait, how the fuck do we, am I soft locked? Oh, no, we can break it, okay. Yeah, so I guess my point is that, like, it's, Wind Waker's, one of Wind Waker's strongest points is its visuals. So it is a shame that people made fun of it for its visuals back then, even though it was like, oh, my hyper-realism and all that at the time. My point being, though, is that I get that that's like an unfair criticism, but I do think that Wind Waker fans have overcorrected in their defense of the game, because I think that there are aspects to Wind Waker that I just don't care for that much. Like overall, overall, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's one of those things where, like, sorry, I'm trying to like figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go, because I don't have the double jump, do I? And do I need the double jump? Wait a second. Got the realism with Twilight Princess, and still complained, yeah, it's wild. I mean, the Zelda cycle is definitely a thing. I mean, that's a thing with, like, most intellectual property. Yeah, we need the... As far as I know, I need the double jump. Oh, I do have the double jump. Wait. Oh, no, the head kick. That's right. That's right. After attacking with the whip. Yeah, that's right. The wiggle whip. But it's like, yeah, people now touting Wind Waker as like the greatest Zelda or the greatest 3D Zelda, I think are like just overcorrecting a bit. You're entitled to that opinion, but it's more so just like, calm down. like calm down. We get it. It was unjustly slandered at the time, but calm down. I forget the trick to actually beating this fight though. Also, maybe I do want to use some potions here. Some potions. Because I like Wind Waker fine, but it might be my least favorite of the traditional 3D Zeldas. Primarily because I think Skyward Sword actually has... I like Skyward Sword's story and, like, characters, weirdly. I'd say more so than Wind Waker. I like the whole origin of the Master Sword thing, even if the game's pacing is pretty rough at times. And, like, very tutorial heavy and all that, like, I get that. But Wind Waker has its fair share of tedium as well, so... It's just one of those things. Yeah, this guy feels like he should have been the first boss, yeah. Especially because he's a bit slower and easier to read as well. I say as I get hit by a fairly easy to dodge attack. Nice. Internet overcorrects a lot, yeah, for sure. It just, yeah, it's kind of the nature of internet discourse. I'm just like... It just, to me, it's gotten a little bit out of hand with Wind Waker in particular. I'm like, okay, guys, it's a good game, but, like, calm down, please. Oh, now you have two options, seemingly. I'm assuming I can push this, this thing over here. But yeah, Zelda is one of those series that... I was gonna get into this earlier, but like... Okay, we can't push it yet. Zelda's one of those series that has actually lost me as of late. I'm just not really that big into the open world ones. I had fun with them. I put time in, but I had to like force myself to finish them. Well, and even then I didn't even finish Tears. Because the Spirit Temple sucks ass. But the it's just one of those things. Link to the Past is your fave. Link to the Past is one of my favorites. That's my first Zelda, actually. First played it on the GBA, though. Not on the actual Super Nintendo. Still never played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's just, I've kind of softened on my, like, distaste for them, because it's just, it is what it is. But I just... There's a lot of aspects to those games that I just don't like very much. there is stuff to like as well, but it's one of those where like I put in, you know, a few dozen hours and just kind of felt content in dropping them, which is not what I would deem to be like. I could not say the same about like my favorite games in the series or my favorite games just like kind of period. You know, like the obviously your favorite games are ones that you're gonna want to see all the way through more often than not. At least for me. And like I pretty regularly come back to Ocarina, Majora, Link to the Past, Twilight Princess to an extent, Link Between Worlds. Less so for those two, just because they're... Well, not for any particular reason, just like I just haven't. I want to go back to them more often, but... I just don't feel that same draw when it comes to the open world ones. There's just like too much going on. Like there's just too much, and too much of it feels, not superfluous, that's not the right word, but it's just like... I only get so much satisfaction out of that style of game, I think. Just overall. And like Echoes of Wisdom looks cool, I know that comes out soon. I know Echoes of Wisdom comes out soon. I've kind of like told myself I'm not going to buy any Switch games until the new hardware comes out, though. So I'm going to abstain from getting that. But I'm like a little... When they initially showed it off, I was kind of like mixed on my impression of it. And so I just don't know, because like it seemed like it was incorporating more of those design philosophies that are present in the open world games, and I'm just like, I'm just not into that as much. But maybe if it's in a 2D format, I'd buy into it a little more, because Link Between Worlds I really love. I replayed it last year too, so it's fresh in my mind. And that game is a little more flexible too, in like the dungeon order and you know, like the weapon shop kinds of stuff, but I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I need to like think about it more, like formulate what exactly it is. But I've kind of like accepted that my favorite Zelda games are probably not going to be dethroned, you know? And this is coming from someone who was very excited for Breath of the Wild. Like, that was my screensaver when I was in college. Was the, like, the landscape from when they first showed it off. And I feel that way about a lot of Nintendo properties lately. Pokemon being a primary one as well. To a much greater degree, because, like, at least for the Zelda games, like, there's a clear level of polish there. But for Pokemon, I definitely can't say the same. And at least Zelda is, like, trying to shake things up, even if it's shaking things up in a way I don't particularly like. Whereas Pokemon is kind of stagnant. Even... and I hate it, because people who like Scarlet and Violet will be like, no, but it's open world now, and it's like, I don't care. like... That's not the problem. Like, that's not the solution, rather. So many issues. It's so annoying. Pokemon bores you to tears and always has. I think the DS games are the ones that I hold in pretty high regard. And are the ones that I tend to come back to. But it's also, yeah, exactly. It's like, it's open world now. And I feel sort of similarly about Zelda, where it's like, okay, I like the way it handled open world in that it's like not, like it's very open and like lets you actually explore without constraints. My big problem is like the things that you find in the Zelda games just don't feel significant enough to me. Like those are more patient with RPGs, stream the DS games. Only beating Pokemon Gold and it was a grind. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, and they lost interest? Huh. Well, I guess the thing is, I should say that I don't really play the vanilla games anymore. I play, like... I like playing the ROM hacks of, like, Drayano's hacks in particular. It's like Renegade Platinum is one that I would recommend. Because, like, yeah, vanilla, it's like, you know, it's baby's first RPG or whatever, like, difficulty-wise and whatever, but it might also just be one of those series where if you didn't grow up with it, it might be hard to get into. I could see that. Because I also like the, I like a lot about the single-player, a lot about the singles competitive scene in particular with Pokemon. Because that's something that does keep my interest as well. I don't really play too much on Pokemon Showdown, but it's almost one of those series where I'm kind of in too deep as far as my knowledge on it to, like, fully, like, give it up. Because I find it too interesting, especially from a competitive angle. In a lot of ways. From the single-player aspect, which is perhaps more important to me overall, just with gaming in general, it's really like the ROM hack, like improvement patch kinds of things that keep me coming back. I'm sure I could have fun, like decent fun with the with a vanilla run, but I'd rather just do a randomizer or what am I doing? I'd rather do a randomizer or play one of Drayano's hacks. Basically. Didn't really grow up with them. More into the anime. RPGs where you time your attacks like Mario and Luigi. Yeah, I actually just streamed those on the channel earlier this year. I grew up with some of those. With Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story in particular. Boiled Starfish? That's gotta be a quest item, come on now. But I played through all of them recently, and I do like those games. I'm one of those players, though, that I like the action command component and like the timing your attacks and stuff, but I find it to get kind of tedious. And I guess you could say the same thing about just traditional turn-based to an extent. But at times I find it tedious. Less so in the Mario and Luigi games because there's a lot of variation in the inputs that you're actually doing. But it's kind of a hit or miss system for me, with like the action commands and whatnot. Like I don't think I'd like Megami Tensei as much if it had that component to it in the same way. I actually think the way that Metaphor is handling it seems more interesting, where it's like, okay, you have the action component to initiate battle, and then you get into the actual turn-based combat. Kind of overwrites the strategy. Dude, you are literally reading my mind. I said many times throughout those Mario and Luigi playthroughs, where like you on paper you have infinite defense if you just don't get hit. So like that, yes, I do agree. I think that's an aspect to it as well. That maybe contributes to some of the tedium. I'm very bad. Let's see here. Oh shit, I need to actually jump a little bit. Maybe? Well, and not get hit by the fucking bat, too. Yeah, it's like you hypothetically have infinite defense because, you know, just don't get hit, but, you know. Been told you have a knack for understanding people. Hey, fair enough, fair enough. Only Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story, both excellent games. They're probably my favorite too still. I think Dream Team has its merits, but Dream Team is the Skyward Sword of Mario and Luigi. It's overly tutorialized, characters won't shut the fuck up, but ultimately it actually does have some good story moments and character development, weirdly enough. And the combat's pretty fun, also. Which I guess that equivalent in Skyward Sword will vary, but I actually kind of like Skyward Sword's combat to an extent. It's death. I love the fight against death in this game. I thought you would appear. It's worse than... Yes, I would agree. I think the tutorializing is worse than in Twilight Princess. Never picked up Dream Team because you heard it wasn't as good. See, that's one that time has been very kind to. I feel like people now, especially ones who grew up with Dream Team when they were kids, speak very highly of it. And there is merit, but it does drag. It's not paced particularly well, I would say. But I really like I like a lot of the gameplay aspects there, though. That's why I would love for a remaster that kind of trims the fat. Dracula's eternal servant, Death. Dracula isn't this castle's master anymore. Why are you here? My, what an odd thing to say. This castle belongs to Lord Dracula, to him and no one else. Joining forces with Bronner because you're thinking of resurrecting Dracula, aren't you? Bronner? Who are you talking about? Or the return of my master. You really didn't know? At least your dead father was strong enough to wield it, not yield it. Typo. Localization. Fun. Evil laughed out MP3. Death has the troll face. I'm not the biggest fan of his visual design here, but the fight is dope. Only taught him the very basics of fighting. Then he went off and got himself killed, leaving me to heir the whip. As heir to the whip. A whip he didn't teach me how to yield. That's a typo, right? Am I crazy? Can yield be used in this context? And don't forget that you've been fighting without the whip's power so far, thanks to his teaching. Setting up some good character arcs, I would say. I bet there's a save room somewhat nearby, but I kind of want to warp back to safety real quick, just in case. Because we've made good progress here. But it's weird, too, because as much as I got kind of burnt out on the Mario and Luigi games because I played them not completely back-to-back. I took some breaks, but I'm, like, weirdly not super excited for the new one. I'm glad it's happening, but I'm just, like, I don't know why exactly I'm not... Like, that's how I feel about a lot of Nintendo games lately. I'm just, like Echoes of Wisdom's the same deal. Like, I should be interested in this, but I'm just not really. There was a save room nearby. That's fine. It's fine. But, like, Metroid Prime 4 is like the one upcoming Nintendo game that I'm genuinely excited for, and will be there day one. It could be the Burnout, yeah. Like, I think by the time the new hardware comes out, maybe I'll be far enough removed from my playthroughs of the other games to where I'll be excited to check out Brothership. Because I don't think the game looks bad by any means. I think it looks fun. I mean, it's another Mario and Luigi game after basically a decade, aside from the remakes. Yeah, Prime 4 is like... The potential there is so high. I really hope it turns out great, of course. But that's gonna be hype. Oh, can't even jump high enough there. Okay. I don't think. Yeah, just barely can't. Okay. Come back later then. Habit of starting an RPG and never finishing it. I think that's a pretty common occurrence for a lot of people. I'm usually pretty good about finishing RPGs, because usually the ones I decide to pick up, I usually like have a good... I usually have a good eye for games that I'm really gonna dig. And so... It's pretty rare for me to pick up an RPG that I feel like I'm gonna dig and then not finish it, or not feel compelled to finish. There are some that I've been iffy on and then I don't finish them. Like Tales of Vesperia is one that comes to mind more recently. But I wouldn't consider myself to be a big Tales fan in the first place, so it's not like that. It's not that wild of a outcome, really. Try to correct that with FF6. FF6 is great. I mean, it's definitely got some old school design there, but that's the one to play if you want to play one of the older Final Fantasies. That's the one to play for sure. Because I think, like, I really like the. I would even go so far as to say that I love the PS1 Final Fantasies for their stories, especially, as crazy as they can get at times. But they are harder to recommend simply because, you know, early polygonal games and, like, all that kind of jazz. But at least there's a speed up function in the more recent releases of those. But then again, FF9 is supposed to get a remake, so it's like, maybe worth waiting for that. I'm anticipating that because FF9 is probably my favorite Final Fantasy overall. It's mostly the gameplay and combat stuff that I have problems with. But I have videos on those games, so like I don't feel like expounding here for sake of repeating myself, you know? Okay, now I'm trying to remember. I vaguely remember this fight, but I don't remember what you're actually supposed to do. I think you want to lure it over here to, Oh, it's only his face specifically, I see. Charlotte, can you stop? I don't know how to bait this thing out. There we go. Oh, that's a problem. Wait, I can get you to stay here, though. High tonic. I guess we'll use that. Oops. I was going to try to use a team attack there, but obviously that didn't work. This fight's a little bit questionable. Maybe... Why are you facing that way? I feel like I'm missing something, maybe, but... Got PTSD from not finishing Shining Force. Oh, what's up, Eric? Good to see you. Enjoying FF6 so far? That's good. That's good. Yeah, FF6 is great. That's probably my number 2 for Final Fantasy. Like, it's probably 9, then 6. I'll save the rest for... I do want to do a tier list of the first 9 games at some point. So I don't want to give too much away. That was kind of lame. Maybe now I want Charlotte up here so that I can fireball this thing. Or maybe, I guess you want to place the other the other person at the bottom, so they're constantly attacking it to draw him out. But I wonder... Like, if she draws him out facing that way, can I hit him from here? Oh, I can. That's the method. Obviously it becomes a problem when they die from not killing the slimes, but... Okay. That's probably like the first questionable boss fight so far. Double jump in midair, yeah, boy. Can I do the head kick and then a double jump? Oh, I can. That means I can actually go this way if I want to. But yeah, I haven't played a JRPG in a minute. Let me think. Yeah, I think SMT5 was the last one. Right? I did play Nier Automata, but that's like an action game. It's not like there's RPG elements, but I wouldn't call that a... It's not the same as what I'm like referring to. But what's it called? Oh yeah, the ones that I was thinking of jumping into were the Star Ocean 2 remake, which I picked up on sale. I think during the Steam Summer Sale, I grabbed that. And that's probably the most likely thing, but I have been talking a lot about jumping back into Three Houses because it's time for me to talk about that game on the channel, which is a game that I absolutely love. Obviously, it's an SRPG, so it's a little different, but it's one of those where, like, it's just more of, like, the time sync aspect with that game. But then again, I wouldn't mind because it's, like, one of my favorite games ever, as of now, so it might be time. But then again, I was trying to wait until we heard about a new Fire Emblem and then finish up strategy RPG. So like Fire Emblem, Advance Wars. Well, I guess Advance Wars is, yeah, Advance Wars does count. It has less RPG elements as far as I understand though, but games like that, Final Fantasy Tactics would be one. It's not a genre, the genre overall is not one that I like very much, but I love Fire Emblem. Or I love certain Fire Emblem games at least. Oh shit, I'm gonna freaking die here. Are you, like, not intended to come here yet? I would guess so. I did just save before coming over here, so it wouldn't be the worst thing if I died. But I'm a little nervous. Oh shit. Ascends as he dies. Advance Wars, yeah, another... Yeah, I haven't tried Advance Wars in a while. Maybe I should give it another shot. But, like, SRPGs or, like, strategy games in general are not usually my favorite genre. It's really that, like, Fire Emblem is a major exception. Because pretty much every other SRPG I've tried, I've like, failed to get into, basically. So it's just one of those things. But I've talked about most of the Fire Emblem games on the channel. Like literally most of them. And it's like time to talk about the newer entries. Or the Switch entries, as it were. Because I still haven't played Engage. But I was kind of hoping we'd hear about the FE4 remake first. Assuming that's what's going to be next. But these enemies are cool. I know the painting, or the portrait, is to the lower right. But I kind of want to explore a little bit more. We're back to using a spear again. Temporarily, at least. But yeah, what I'm really waiting on though is the PC port of FF16, which comes out in what, like a week, a little more than a week, right? Something like that. Okay. Yes, I'm looking forward to playing FF16. But that's like more of an action game, so I feel like I could play something like Star Ocean and or Three Houses at the same time. I mean, probably not both. It probably wouldn't be smart to do both. But then again, Three Houses I've played to death. So it's like, I could probably play that, not passively, but like I could kind of... It wouldn't take that much energy out of me to play it, if that makes sense. Whereas Star Ocean, it's like it'd be brand new to me. So it'd be a little bit more of a learning curve, more of a new experience. And I've never played a Star Ocean game, except for maybe trying a little bit of the first remake, which is only on Switch for some reason. So it'd be interesting to like dabble with a new, or at least a series that's new to me, like a new RPG series. Okay, Mind Boost. I feel like it's gonna stop me at a certain point up here. Okay, I do have to be careful for sure. If I want to, like, you know, retain this progress, obviously. It's so nice not having to grind for soul drops. Although I guess, like, there are still drops like you just saw there, obviously, but... doesn't feel as egregious, I would say. I'm assuming there's a save point up here, probably, in that room just across from me now. Seems like it would be prime placement for one. Or a teleporter, which is just as good. I'm gonna play it safe here and warp back to go heal, though. Surprised none of the Phantasy Star games are not considering... Yeah, Phantasy Star is a series that's a blind spot for me as well. I'm kind of surprised they haven't, like, remastered or remade them or something. Like, you know, Square did the pixel remasters for Final Fantasy, and they're doing the HD 2D stuff for Dragon Quest. It's like, well, Sega should do something for Phantasy Star to, like, make those games more accessible, you know? That'd be cool, because I'd play them in that capacity. Usually, like, I don't have a problem going back to older games, but at this point, I end up usually waiting for some kind of official release and seeing how that pans out. Like Suikoden, I've never played a Suikoden game, but the Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster has a release date now, so it's like, okay, assuming that the ports aren't botched, I'll just check them out there, like when that launches, because I got plenty to play in the meantime. There's a room in which many ghosts gather. Defeat the great ghosts. This is, yeah, in the desert, that's right. Defeat 10 hill guards. Have I even seen a hill guard? I'm not seeing it on here. No. God, it's really hot in here. Let's see. Yeah, I'll finish exploring. I have to defeat the giant ghost after. Yeah, I remember there's something finicky about that quest. Like there's some sort of. I think I know what you're talking about. This area is quite dangerous. Oh shit. Okay, so that requires like some kind of strength enhancement or something. Okay. Two-shot. Giant ghosts are usually the easier enemies despite their size. Yeah, that's true. That reminds me of the, is it the Creaking Skulls or whatever they're called in Symphony of the Night? In that, like, that outdoor area with the bridge. Those guys look intimidating, but they actually die pretty easily, which is fun. Oh, these are the hill guards, okay. Must fill in map. Lose strength temporarily. That actually might be... That might be kind of sick. Although with Charlotte, I feel like you just want the offensive ones maybe, but there's probably use for these other ones as well that I'm not considering. Higher defense. Okay, that's better. Oh, nice, the bandana, the Richter bandana. Axe. Bullet punch. Fleaman and Rippers are annoying. Yeah, no, the Ripper guys in Dawn of Sorrow can be obnoxious. If I'm thinking of the same guys you're talking about with the what's it called? Like the yo-yo blades, basically. Do I want to go with the axe? I feel like it's probably pretty slow. Like, I don't know if that's worth the 3 points of damage extra compared to the partisan. Oop. I think I want to double back before I get murked here. Drink a potion. Oh, those are disc armors. Okay, yeah. That's right. Yo, these arrows though, stop. Gladius. Rippers are the Fleamen. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. I know what you're talking about. The Fleamen that throw knives. Yeah, the Fleamen... Not a fan. I actually feel like they might be worse in the classic Vanias, though. But, well, no, Symphony of the Night, they're pretty annoying. I guess I'm just thinking Dawn of Sorrow, they weren't actually that bad. Because in some games they could just get one shot. I guess it's when they don't get one shot, which I don't know if that's ever the case, but I seem to recall that being a thing. That's when they're at their most annoying, obviously. Oh god. There's more? Shit. Shit. Very bad. I got these potions at least, but I just need to be careful. Charlotte, can you, like, attack? Like, hello? I wish there was a way to, like send her forward or something. Okay. I see you. These rifle guys are really quite cool. Like the ricochet and stuff, it's sick. Tome of Arms 2! There we go, they made a sequel. Also, we had Don Quixote, but that's not what I meant to do. Oh yeah, the horse. That's right. That's fun. They have more of a pattern in the classic games, yeah. Okay, that's fair, yeah. Oh, I forgot the double jump with the broom. That's cute. I like that. It's so funny when they don't aggro you. Not what I meant to do. Another Gladius. Like Tome of Worms 2 better than 3. I'd have to see what the third one does, but I'll keep that in mind. Welcome back, Dimas. Let's see here, monocle. I figure we can probably fill out this map without too much trouble. I just need to not get hit. Jade Corset, that's definitely better, I think. Yeah, it should be, yeah. Poncho's even better, wow, what? Goggles. Take the monocle. Is that another pair of Moonwalker? Oh no, I just unequipped these, that's right. It's a shame the Moonwalkers are so not good defensively. But, you know. Are you thinking of, like, Tome of Arms X, you mean? Yeah, I don't quite remember, but I guess we'll find out. Oh shit, I want that drop. I mean, it was just another boomerang one that I already got, but still. Okay, so that's the switch to open up that passageway. I'm a little scared about this thing. Okay, nice. So this is literally where I came from, and then I died over here before. You fucking asshole. Sure, a bit of MP, anti-venom for sure. I'm a little nervous that some of these foods are going to be required. I mean, the ground meat we already turned in, right? But I also really don't want to die here. Which means I should probably just turn back. And then come back once I've healed up or something. Casual gamers always seem to have a problem with the Medusa heads that they don't realize they have. Yeah, I think that's what I discovered like recently, was that the Medusa heads aren't as bad if you're able to read the pattern. But my experience with the Classicvanias is still pretty limited. It's just I've been, you know, dabbling here and there more recently. Okay. So we can safely go heal. And then I like venturing into this more dangerous area. I just don't want to, like, lose my progress, obviously. And plus, I feel like I must have killed 10 hill guards at least, right?
You're back.
Yeah.
Well done.
Whip skill 2. Oh, wait, whip skill. That's like... Isn't that like... That's like a permanent thing, yeah? Hold to let it drop. While jumping, use diagonally downward. Oh, wait. Oh, with a whip, obviously, yeah. Is that my best whip? A leather whip still. That's pretty sick. They have more of the case that they talk about the skeleton heads in Castlevania 3. Those things, okay, yeah, the enemies that have random, that don't have like a specific pattern to them. Yeah, I could see that. I think it's obviously like a matter of, I guess, they see these things that seem to be moving erratically and then panic. Even if they aren't moving erratically, it's like... I can see how they could be perceived that way. Is the canosaur better? It is. Oh, sick. The vacuum cleaners are really funny. Okay. Let's try filling out the rest of this map if possible. Shit. Also, I should probably just wait for them to attack and then go in. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, nice. I didn't even circle the moon much? I forgot that those were a thing in this game. It's supposed to be more methodical. Yes, yeah, for sure. For sure. The vacuums don't even do damage. Yeah, they just, like, they incapacitate your partner, right? Or something like that. But, what's it called? Yeah, that's what I've realized, is that you can kind of say the same thing for classic Mega Man, where because there's no momentum when it comes to like your jump. Well, okay, in Castlevania you reserve your momentum as you're jumping, but you know what I mean, where it's like it's one set movement speed. There's not like a run button. There's not like a. It's not like Mario or Sonic or something where like you build up speed and you kind of like use that momentum to make harder jumps. It is very deliberately. Classicvania and classic Mega Man are very deliberately designed, and these jumps are very specifically spaced out to make those jumps from particular spots. And so that's why they can feel so tough at times, because of the more methodical design and the more intentional design. Not that Mario and Sonic aren't intentionally designed, but I think you know what I mean. Like, these jumps are spaced so particularly that it feels more difficult because because they're spaced in that way where like you really have to jump from like the farthest most point that you can at times to make them, because the developers know that you will make the jump if you actually execute properly. A sequel that had upgrades and stuff. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Alright, I want to try to ignore this guy if I can. Damn it. I have to go up and around, don't I? Don't wanna... Also, I don't even know if the whip is the greatest option right now. I think I'll wait until I get the, like, vine whip or whatever it is. Stick with the spear. There's one notorious jump in Castlevania 3 where you have to be pixel perfect. Yeah, and there are definitely instances with Mega Man 2 that... Not Mega Man 2 specifically, but just Mega Man in general, like classic, where it's a little bit more deliberate in that way. Or like you have to be like very precise. And it demands that precision. I think that other, you could say more forgiving platformers do still reward precision, but I don't think that they require it quite as strictly. That's more like a skill ceiling kind of thing in Mario games and Sonic games and stuff like that. But to me, like, platformers a lot of the time are less about getting to the end and more about, like, replaying and getting more, like, getting better at the games, basically, and having more efficient runs as you come back and, like, replay and stuff like that. And I think something I realized somewhat recently was that I think I favor platformers that do have some form of momentum, whether it be the Dash in Mega Man X, or I'm not the biggest 2D Sonic fan. I like those games fine, but they're not like my favorite 2D platformers ever. But the momentum aspect is compelling. But then, like, you know, Mario World, Mario 3, games like that where momentum is like kind of a core mechanic. I tend to favor those types of games, those types of platformers. More of a Mario fan yourself. Yeah, I like 2D Mario. I do like it. That's one of those, kind of like I was saying with Zelda, where I just don't know if my favorites are going to get dethroned. Like, Mario World is one that I grew up with. Mario 3 is one that I've come to appreciate more recently. But like, I played Mario Wonder and I was like, this is good. Like, I enjoyed it. It's good. In some way, in a few ways, it's better than the new Super Mario Brothers games, for sure. Not in every way, maybe, but like, I'm not wild about those games either. So it's like, I just don't. I don't know. But yeah, like, Wonder was good, but it's not like, it doesn't dethrone the older ones, in my opinion. So it's like, it puts me in a tricky spot where I'm like, I can enjoy this, but it doesn't like hit in the same way. And I guess that's where nostalgia sort of plays its hand. And I feel like I'm pretty good at not only acknowledging when nostalgia could be a factor, but also I just don't think it plagues many games that I go back to. Yeah, Super Mario World's controls are amazing. Like, the way that the game feels, physics-wise, I love. And I think that's also part of the reason why that's my favorite 2D Mario as well. And also part of the reason why there's such a vibrant ROM hacking community surrounding that game. Because the framework there is just so excellent. These guys can be scary, I think, so I really don't want to risk it. Okay. And plus, I think we have to come back here for a painting later on anyway. Silent Sandals. Oh wow, look at those stat buffs. Wait, does it actually remove the sound effects? Is there like a stepping sound effect when she has... No. No, there's not. That would be a fun touch, though. If it did work like that. Did I pick up anything better? This is pretty good. Obviously, we lower our, what I assume to be magic defense there. But the regular defense buff is pretty significant. Sequin dress. I feel like these other stat increases are pretty good to keep around. But the other thing too is, like, I would also say overall, and this goes with a lot of game series, I tend to prefer the 3D iterations over 2D. So that might also be part of it, where it's like maybe Mario World and Mario 3 to an extent are kind of like an exception. Where, like, my absolute favorite Mario games are the Galaxy games. And I tend to enjoy the 3D titles. Like I have some issues with Mario Odyssey, but I enjoyed Mario Odyssey more than I did Wonder, for sure. Overall, I need to be very careful here. Also, I think that left part of that room that's incomplete down there is inaccessible currently, maybe. Or rather, I need to continue down that route that I stopped at. And it's not to say that Nintendo couldn't put out new entries in these series and usurp my favorites. It's just more so there's something about some of their newer entries in certain series that, like, they just feel a little... I don't know if safe is the right word, but like a little... Is clinical the right word? Like, I don't know exactly how to put it. Like, the games are very polished, which is appreciated in, you know, modern releases and stuff. But I do think sometimes, while polish is important, I do think that sometimes people factor that in maybe a little bit too heavily in their critique of said games, where it's like, oh, Breath of the Wild's really polished. Like, I'm sure there's bugs and shit that, like, I'm not familiar with, but yeah, for an open world game, it's remarkably polished. But, like, I wouldn't say Breath of the Wild's a turd, but it's the whole, you know, you can't polish a turd, or you can only polish a turd so much, right? Yeah, the way I'm putting it is not great. It's a little... I'm not being as tactful as I usually try to be, but... Again, I don't think that the open world Zeldas are turds, but it's more so just like you're trying, like, polishing something that doesn't have, in my opinion, enough substance in some ways, I guess. Maybe that's not even the best way to put it either, but I think you understand the sentiment, at least. Bought any potions? No, I haven't. I actually haven't bought any potions yet. I probably should, considering I literally have 14k gold right now. There's a warp room over by the portrait though, so I'm gonna go do that real quick, because that would also save me on backtracking a bit. But these don't break. Nice level up. Shit. Oh, the nuns habit. That's a quest thing, I think. But yeah, and like the one, well, the main exception is Metroid, because I think that's partially because Metroid was gone for so long, you know? But like Dread was awesome. Dread is probably the best Metroid game, like polish-wise, and like, but even it's not just the polish though, like that's the thing. It's like the actual content of the game and like the way that it expands on what came before is like excellent. Not completely flawless, but excellent. And so like that's I think Metroid is my favorite Nintendo property at the moment because of that. Yeah, let's go stock up a bit. Usually stock up on potions and tonics. Yeah, I think that's a good call. It'll save me on backtracking too. Recently beat this game without using items. That's pretty impressive. I like the idea of eventually getting there. Like getting to the point where I can do that with these games, because I think that using... It's just like the pausing into using items is not ideal, in my opinion. Let's stock up. Shit's expensive though, but... we'll make up for that eventually. This need to be hard mode because damn. Yeah, I also haven't checked out the hard modes in these games at all either. But that's something that I'm interested in doing once I do have complete save files on all these. Morning Veil, I feel like that's something I need too, but I'll wait until I get the quest for it. A ring that increases the mastery received. Yeah, I just don't really want to buy equipment just yet. Although some of these are probably one-time buys, if I had to guess, because I don't... Can you sell the, Armor. No, you can't. Okay, so yeah, these must be one-time buys at the bottom here. Like the way East 6 handled them. I haven't played any East games. I think your favorite Zero Mission and Super Metroid or Prime. Yeah, I think Zero Mission, and I like the odd number titles in Metroid more than the even titles, as far as 2D entries are concerned. So like what I mean by that is Zero Mission, Super, and Dread are like my top 3 2D. And I like the Prime games a lot too. Prime 2 in particular. Had a cap on each of them, and you could swap between them, except in boss fights you can heal cheese. Okay, yeah. I like that. Oh, and then level 1 modes, that's true. Not 1000% map. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Do I just buy these? Just to have them? I can always come back. Yeah, because these are one-time purchases. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll still abstain from selling because I don't want to screw myself out of certain sub-quests, or whatever they're called, quests.
You're back.
That's still the only one? Okay. Oh shit. Make a save real quick over here. I feel like I want to go longer on this stream, but I'm gonna need to go to the bathroom real quick. I would agree that Harmony has it has some bangers. Offense and defense is my favorite track in that game. It's just the it's the sound chip, the hardware limitations. It just doesn't sound good. Like if you remastered those tracks with a better sound font, of course it'd be great. That's like an issue, but it's like that's like saying I mean fair enough, I do think that the composition in that game is good, like music wise, but someone did VRC6 remixes. If it played a part in the story, right? It's like a lot of the defense of that. I mean, fair enough if you do enjoy the way that it sounds in its vanilla form, but I do find that the like defense of being like, oh, but the composition's good, but it's like, yeah, but that's like, but the recording quality is still not good. So it's like it's one of those things, you know what I mean? The remixes overall sound, yeah, I mean that's fair enough. That's fair enough. The remix of To the Heart of the Devil's Castle. I might have to check those out. The amazing graphics came at the expense of music. It's interesting because I think if you get rid of the outline on Juiced, it's easier to appreciate the graphics. I just find that the outline in particular is like, it's distracting, I guess. Because yes, there are a lot of striking visuals in Harmony. But I guess I'd have to look at a side-by-side between the GBA games and see. Because I think Circle of the Moon sounds the best. And I also think graphically it looks pretty good, but there's also a lot of palette swamp enemies. Like, enemy variety in Circle is not that great. It's like that game's probably, aside from the things that you can patch, being like the auto dash and the card mod, like placing the cards around the map. You fix those, and then my only issue with Circle is really enemy variety. Because, you know, you have the different armors, and it's like they're basically the same enemy, just with a different attack sort of deal. Oh, shit. That is, that's gruesome, man. Holy crap. Where's Timothy Chalamet? Do you like the outline, especially when he? Yeah, I think that the trail and the dashes is cool. I just find it distracting. That's all. Oh, another whip, the steel whip. Oh, where is it at? We take those. A bit of a damage decrease, but in order to use a whip, I'll take it. That's an exit. What's up, Gustavo? Can finally catch a stream. Good to have you. Good to have you back. God, the music slaps, dude. I'm also used to listening to the the like orchestrated versions of these, like the original compositions or whatever they're called. And they sound even better, but this sounds pretty damn good to me. How's Portrait treating you? I mean, I'm loving replaying this game so far. I just think that there's so much dynamism here between the two characters and like summoning them to attack, summoning them for puzzle solving, for using magic. Like, and plus like the different equipment types that you can equip. It's like different types of magic you can equip. It's so flexible in such a satisfying way. Oh shit. Is that bad? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, I see. So like probably heats up the platform or something. There's an outline on him to distinguish it. Yeah, no, I know. I know the reason behind it. I know, because it's the whole thing where like Circle of the Moon was too dark because the Game Boy Advance didn't have a backlight. And so they changed that, but it is one of those things that I get that it was done for hardware reasons and like hardware limitations, but it's something that on like a modern display is something that I don't particularly care for. That's why I think Circle holds up the best on modern displays, at least. I already want to return to these games. I mean, they're so damn good. Ecclesia early game had you on the ropes for a bit, as it does for, I think, all of us. Ecclesia's early game... Dude, that crab boss fight, assuming you've gotten to that point, that fight is very tough. The patterns are predictable, like, it's definitely doable, but it's like... The damage output is just crazy. Shinoa is very frail early on, from what I recall. These death animations are so cool. Oh shit. Like, Ecclesia is... I think it's safe to say that, like, on... At least on normal mode, Ecclesia is... I feel like pretty easily the hardest of these games, like the Metroidvanias just in general. The bosses in this and Ecclesia hit like a truck. Yeah, it's... I don't notice it as much here. I mean, I do notice it, but it's like... Ecclesia, it's very apparent. Didn't find Ecclesia to be that much more difficult compared to the other DS titles. I guess we'll see on revisiting it. But I thought... I mean, I think some of the boss fights in this game put up a challenge in a satisfying way. But I guess it's... I guess part of it is because the early game of Ecclesia is so difficult. Whereas the early game in most of these games is not usually that bad. But that's right. And also I can't... I need... You come back here later. Like, way later. I can still go the upper route, which I might as well do since I'm here, but I want to go back and save real quick, maybe? Nice level up. Walk in the park? Yeah, just in comparison, yeah. For sure. But I like that there's a hard mode, too, as an option. Like, I could see myself coming back to this collection a lot, which is cool. So I think, like, as I mentioned with the Advanced Collection, I like playing the GBA games with patches, like with improvement patches. I think it's only really difficult here. Or no, Dracula. Oh, Dracula. Okay, yeah. Didn't find Over Ecclesia to be that much more difficult. Dracula was a difficult fight. I think I love the final boss fight in this game. I don't remember how hard I found it. I love like the 2-on-2. The 2-on-2 fight, like it's so sick. But I do remember there was like a particular attack or two from Ecclesia's Dracula that is tricky. I think it's the swarm of bats. Like if you get caught in that, if you don't like duck or like get to the right position to avoid his little like, isn't like a wavy something or other of bats. If you don't dodge that, you're dead. Like I think that's the big issue. Or at least it was for me. Charlotte, get over here. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. Don't remember Dracula in Portrait? Dude, it's so sick. I love it. That bats part is the hardest part. If you don't have a shield upgrade, okay, yeah. More punishing, yeah, like I think I would agree based on what I remember. Like once you figure out the Ecclesia Dracula fight, it's not that bad. But it can be tricky to figure out. I could probably make it 2 gaps if I really... Oh, never mind. Fuck. Oh, shit. Da-na-na-na. Yeah, the rest of that room is for later anyway, so I don't mind leaving the map incomplete there. What I really would like is a save room, although I did stock up on potions like I mentioned, and here's the Fleaman, as we were discussing earlier. Oh, this is the way of the boss, isn't it? Oh shit. Oh ho! Ho! Oh ho. I almost read that as ho ho, and I was like, Santa Claus? Dracula Claus? Oh ho! Dude needs to get some sun. Jesus. I'm a bit surprised to find you inside of my painting. You must be Bronner. How dare you? Show my father some respect. Calm yourself, Stella. Stella. What could they possibly know about respect? They're just humans after all. Indeed, I am Bronner, master of this castle. Are you trying to revive Dracula? What the hell are you up to? Oh, he said the hell word. Oh no. Dracula, you say? What a joke. Watching these ignorants get worked up can be so entertaining. It seems you have no intention of reviving Dracula. Why should Lord Dracula be revived? In the last few centuries, he's failed at controlling humanity. I will wait no longer. For the sake of my beloved daughters, I will take this world from mankind. Humans bring death and ruin to everything of beauty. If you're not after Dracula, why has the castle been resurrected? Through this castle, that power will allow the world to be reborn. It shouldn't be possible to separate Dracula from his magic. Is this implied to be Dominus? I don't know the timeline exactly. I'm just wondering, there's gotta be some connection between, like they called it the Dominus Collection, but as far as I understand, that's like an Ecclesia-specific thing. But Dawn of Sorrow and Aria have like the Dominance ability that Soma has, so that's clearly related. And then this has to do with Bronner using Dracula's power. So maybe that's the connection of like Dracula not being like the initial threat or something? I don't know. The people using Dracula's power. This is art. I'll make you my master. Yeah, the quote, the battle quotes or whatever. At the moment, Dracula's faithful servant is sniffing around my castle. Yeah, back into the paintings they go. Yeah, Dominus Collection just sounds cool. I think that's fair enough. And Ecclesia is the most beloved one, right? Or maybe it's Dawn of Sorrow. I feel like those are the two that tend, at least as far as I've seen, those are the two that tend to get brought up as people's favorites. I've only recently been seeing people praise Portrait more. Dominus of the... Right. I just find it interesting that they named the collection after something that seemingly is exclusive to Ecclesia, as opposed to something a little bit... I mean, I guess Dominus starts with a D and ends with an S. That's something that occurred to me when I was first thinking about it, so I'm like, okay, that might be something. You were a huge Ecclesia stan, but grew to love the other two more. This is kind of scary. I should just use a potion. Also, I feel like there probably is a save room over to the right. Okay. There's still some non-linearity here. Like multiple paths to get to, what's it called? What was I saying, though? Oh yeah, the structure of Ecclesia. That's like the one thing I don't like. But once you get to the castle, it's fucking sick. A lot of the stuff before that, besides maybe the boss fights, I'm not a big fan of. I should rephrase that. The boss fights are like the thing that kind of carries the early game to me in Ecclesia. Oh shit, fuck. Okay, I'm fine. Dominus is exclusively... yeah, Dominus. That might be actually part of the reason they did that. I would not be surprised. Never heard of it in any... Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm trying to, like, conjure some kind of connection between these three. It's so catchy, dude. I love the, like, kind of world travel kind of motif that's going on in this game, too. Like, oh, let's go to, isn't it like Victorian England or something like that, or whatever it was, like, City of Haze. I don't know specifically what country that is, but it's like, you know, Europe at a certain time, and then ancient Egypt, and then, I don't know, Clown World or something. That's the one that's like a mystery to me a little. And then Dawn of Sorrow, yeah, has the DS moniker in it as well. That's true. I don't think I want to warp. I think I just want to continue on foot. That was close. I'm gonna be a little careful with some of these jumps. Can you... I like how Charlotte just gave up. She's just like, I'm just gonna land on this spike or just walk through. Like Portrait of Ruin better than Bloodlines. I think that's fair. I don't have a ton of experience with Bloodlines, but like both. Yeah, I mean they're different enough for sure. Bloodlines seems cool though. I do like. Obviously, the Genesis was very capable when it came to like visuals and presentation in general. So it is nice to see a Castlevania game made for the Genesis because of that. Like leveraging that system's power. of these things. Oh shit. So Demas, you're slightly more of a Classicvania stan. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. I think you might have mentioned that before too. Yeah, I think that preference obviously does play a big part in whether one would prefer any given Classicvania over a over one of the Metroidvania ones or Igavania ones, as it were. Control scheme kind of messes you up. Prefer C being the jump button. Yeah, I guess the tricky thing with Genesis is like it is that 6-button layout or whatever. That's one of those things that I would probably just opt to remap on Steam or something with the Anniversary Collection. Shit. Okay, so that just leaves one more path, and there's got to be a save room before the boss. So I think I just press on. Also, let's summon Charlotte here because we're using physical attacks a lot. Sandworm. Fucking got you this time. Oh, facing the wrong way, Charlotte. Turn around. What a nasty enemy, dude. What a nasty looking enemy. Oh, there's no underneath part of this? Okay. Oh, it was 3 buttons. Okay, yeah. Okay, right. Because it's A, B, and C, as opposed to having, like, X and Y. Stuff like that. It's interesting. I never owned a Sega console, so I just don't... I'm not as familiar with them. I don't know how I managed that, but I'll take it. Oh, another path? This is... I feel like the way to the boss, maybe. Oh, I can definitely head jump up there. If these ghosts would get the fuck out of the way. Charlotte. Charlotte. There we go. I need to make use of the offensive form more, I think. I think that's actually quite good. Because you play Contra, where B is shoot, C is jump, and A is missile. Interesting. Contra is a series I don't have much experience with either. Is that like... It almost looks like it's breakable or something. Also, there's something under here. But... Oh, never mind. I guess I just walk on the floor to, what's it called? Get that portion of the map to show up. This is the save room, right? No. But this is heading towards the boss for sure. Nice to level up. Beat 1 with the Konami code and 3 on normal. Yeah, I definitely would need the Konami code for sure. And I think that's generally the way that people learn those games, I would assume. Ooh, that's gotta be good. Nice. Strict upgrade there. It'll be nice once I can kind of clear some of those side quests. Because then maybe I can start selling stuff to kind of clear out the inventory a little bit. Okay, so that's just better. And Jonathan has no accessories yet either. Bandana's too good. 1,000 Blades is good, from what I recall. That shit's actually, like, I think that actually carried me into the late game here at times. Just wish older games had infinite continues. I would kind of agree, because sort of as I mentioned earlier, it's like, sure, there's some satisfaction of beating games just straight up, but I think if there are infinite continues, then it's like, I would be more likely to push through to the end and then therefore do a replay, and then the more you replay it, the less that's going to come into play in the first place. Which is why I find it odd when veterans of some games get butthurt about getting rid of like limited lives or having some kind of unlimited continue system, because it's like, well, you're probably good enough at the game to not even need it anyway. And it's not even a need thing, it's more just like, I don't know, like I like to see the game all the way through once to determine if like it's something that I would want to replay, instead of kind of being forced to replay it because I died a certain number of times. It's a nuanced conversation. I don't want to make it sound like it's too one-sided, but... I get the lives, just don't like... Yeah, I could see that, yeah. I don't mind restarting from the same level or something, even if, you know, you lose your checkpoints or something, but... Yeah, I know what you mean. And this corner... Is this like an outside? Oh no, it's just like a weird... The, like, upper left corner was a weird thing to get. Three people you talk to validated your feelings. Even one little hang-up. About tell the game... Yeah. I mean, nothing is, I think there's something to be said for sticking with a game that is challenging. But, like, after a certain point, it's like if you're not having fun, you should just play something else. I want to get this upper corner. There we go. Oop. That's a push from the other side. I think that's maybe the exit from... Yeah. If you're making a game that isn't centered around stealth, don't put a stealth segment and make it an auto fail. No, that's yeah, that's fair enough. I heard Star Wars Outlaws is guilty of that, or at least was. I don't know if they patched it or not. That does sound pretty annoying, though. And shit, I mean, even in stealth games, unless you are playing on, like... I think it makes sense for harder difficulties, like, you know, European Extreme for Metal Gear, and stuff like that. But also, I think about MGS5, for instance, and it's like, you can shoot your way out if you do get caught. Yeah, I think having that flexibility is nice. I do wish the stealth games would come back, though. And, well, I guess Metal Gear Delta... I think the Metal Gear Snake Eater remake looks really damn good. And that's coming from someone who really loves the original Snake Eater. It's probably my favorite Metal Gear game. I haven't played all of them, though, so take that with a grain of salt. I played 2, 3, and 5. I'm just waiting for the Master Collection to go on a steeper sale so I can, for 1, play the original MGS for the first time, and for 2, replay MGS 2 and 3. Even though I've played 3 a few times, I've only played 2 once. Timmy Link isn't going to run around like a little shit when someone sees him. Right. Yeah, or like, yeah, rewarding the player for doing it perfectly, stealth-wise. Yeah, I guess Ocarina has that brief stealth segment, and... Well, no, there's a few. I don't find them to be that bad, though, but I've also played the shit out of Ocarina. So it's one of those. And then Majora's Mask, I jumped back into my more recent playthrough of Majora's Mask, because I stopped once I got to Great Bay, as I typically do. And, I now have access to the temple, so I got all the Zora eggs or whatever. And so I'm like onto the actual dungeon proper, which is cool. But like in Majora, you just get the stone mask, and then you don't have to worry about the stealth mechanics like at all, which is nice. There's like a way to circumvent it. It would be cool if you got something for doing that without the stone mask, but people say this game is great, and I don't like it because of that one part. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I do think it's rare for me to have like one specific part that ruins my experience with the game, but there are definitely segments of games that I'm not the biggest fan of at times. I mean, shit, speaking of, I mentioned I played through Nier Automata recently. There are definitely some segments in that game where I'm just like, But I was gonna consider doing a video on Nier, but now I don't think I'm going to because I don't really have a whole lot to say. It just didn't resonate with me. Like that's the big like detractor. Like I liked some of the more shocking moments. I thought some of the twists were cool. But like all in all, it just didn't like I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I kept waiting for like, oh, it's gonna get really good now. And I felt that tension build up, but it never quite arrived to like the extent that I kind of expected. And you know, expectations are the thief of joy, yada yada yada. But like, I feel like I'm typically pretty good at keeping my expectations in check. Oh, Gustavo, you feel the same way? Okay, cool, cool, cool. Love action games. See, the combat feels a little passive to me. Like a little... If you play on harder difficulties, there's no lock-on, and so that makes it... That does require you to, like, participate in some of the systems more, because it's like half shoot-'em-up and half hack-and-slash, or like half action game, but there's a big shoot-'em-up component. And you can kind of cheese a lot in holding the shoot button, and kind of mashing heavy attack over and over. It's like, I get that there is more to it, but when the game doesn't demand more, it's hard for me to take that aspect super seriously. I remember this fight being tricky as well. Well, especially if you have your partner out, I guess that's the issue. I don't know how I got hit, but... Oh shit. Oh shit. It's so broken. It's so broken, dude. That shit's so busted. I remember that from my first playthrough. That's how I got through some of the later game fights, too. It's just like, Thousand Blades is so nuts. Holy crap. That's fun, though. Never gotten to Red Dead. RDR, yeah, it's a very RDR2 is a very slow game. I loved it from a narrative standpoint, but from a gameplay standpoint, I totally understand why people fall off of it. Increases pushing power. Oh, that's right. So there we go. And that gives us access to that other area as well. Use 1,000 blades all the time on that boss. Yeah, it's stupid broken, but kind of in a fun way. No, dude, 1,000 blades, like literally, that is good enough to carry into the late game, from what I remember, which is wild. If you can line like certain boss fights, it doesn't work on. I don't think, because I don't think you can do it in the air, right? No. But like Medusa, for instance, she's like airborne. That's one of my favorite fights, is the Medusa fight. We'll get there, but it's like, this game's great. I think the map is as full as it can be. In fact, I can actually check maps. Yeah, 98.1. Yeah, so I think, I want to say those last two rooms are probably the last of it. Maybe there's a secret wall or something to break as well. City of Haze. I know there's some... I'm pretty sure there's some breakable walls here, and there's obviously that top right area as well. I'll come back for that. Dracula's Castle. Already halfway through, which is crazy, but there's a lot more portraits left. So. And plus, I kind of did one of the later areas a little early as well. In fact... Oh, and you can get knocked out of it, that's right. That's right. Boom, boom. Oh, there's also that top left corner that I missed over here. Didn't use them much outside of Final Armor farming. Yeah, the one thing balancing it is 0 iframes, yeah. You're right. This corner, I feel like you need the super jump to get up there, probably. Like to fill in that part of the map, which is kind of annoying. Like you need Jonathan's like super jump thingy. Which I guess we're gonna come back here in the very late game to get that spell or whatever it is. So, at least I think that's what that is. From what I recall. So yes, that's the thing. If you can get a straight shot with 1,000 blades against an enemy that isn't gonna attack you in the middle of it, GG. Does the shuriken punch when he gets the super jump. The super jump is pretty funny. It's pretty absurd. Now, I think wasn't the push block here? Like to the right of here, maybe? I think so. But I'm gonna check on quests real quick.
You're back.
You're back. See if we can enter the command. Command right down, left, right, X.
This is your training.
Go come back when you've been cursed. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll just take that.
Well done.
So you just... It's the same input, right? Relics. Perform a spinning evasion move. That's so niche, though, isn't it? Like, maybe there's more iframes here or something, but that's like... Wait, it eats MP, too, which is interesting. No, you're good, John. I might actually be wrapping up the stream here shortly. The super jump in this game is cancelable. I think I remember that too, yeah. It's fun. I've used it in the Dracula fight. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, you could totally do that. Feel free. I can see about checking that out.
I'll make you a deal.
Let's see here. Buy one more potion. Castle map. Powdered milk. I feel like that's for a quest or something weird. Real quick. I think the only things I want to prioritize buying are these. Wait. Did I not just buy one of these, though? Am I crazy?
Thank you.
Maybe you can buy multiple, then. Dart. The more of them you have, the stronger it is, maybe? Kind of like the Souls in Dawn. Maybe that's why. But why does it say 0 in stock, then? That's weird. Really want to get to hard mode eventually. Yeah, as I mentioned, I mean, I'm curious to check out hard mode on these games, because I just don't know very much about them. Hey, thanks, man. Hope you have a good rest of your week. Maybe we'll catch you on Friday. Wait, so do I have... I don't have the shuriken, I have the dart. I'm just wondering if it, like, prevents me from buying a certain amount. Like, I buy this, but then it still lets me buy more, and I'm guessing there's a limit of some kind. I'll just buy one of each, just to have them. Oh, nice. Got one of these. Two of these, in fact. Oh, I forgot. They have separate... That's right. They have separate, dual crushes. That's pretty sick. I think equipment-wise, we're fine. Summon Skeleton. Summon Ghost. Defensive spell that neutralizes all ranged attacks. Oh, Royal Sandals, there we go. It's better. Gladius. Partisan. I want to stick with whips if I can, but some of these weapons are pretty strong. Like the long spear 50? Jesus Christ. That's too good for me to pass up, I think. 50 is insane. One thing about your channel, live vids are in a separate tab. I don't know what triggers that, but yeah, that is something that that does end up happening. Oh, but you're gonna make a separate channel for live stuff? I think that makes sense. I've thought about doing the same. I did that. Well, I did do that when I was still on Twitch, but it didn't really like do much for me. So it's like I'm kind of like glad with the method that I have now. But I think it makes sense to do like live streams or like at least archives on a separate channel. Makes sense. But yeah, I think that's a good stopping point. Hopefully I remember where to go next time, but it should be pretty clear since we just finished a portrait.